Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Anna Hoke, and I'm delighted to have two of my colleagues with me to share a little bit more about one of our most innovative and timely solutions, Scout by MākuSafe. With me today are Aaron Johnson, who will dive into the technical features and capabilities of Scout, and Mike Kenny, who will share real-world applications and results from some of our clients. And we're here because forklift and pedestrian incidents remain one of the most serious safety risks in all industrial environments. And today we're going to explore how Scout by MākuSafe is helping companies move from reactive to proactive safety management. So let's go ahead and get started. Aaron, I'm going to start with you. Let's start with the basics. Can you explain to me how Scout, what Scout is and how it actually works?
Sure, absolutely. Scout is our forklift safety solution that pairs with our MākuSafe ally. It's an armband, part of our larger MākuSafe ecosystem that is a workplace wearable that is collecting real-time leading indicator data around frontline workers' experiences and exposures in the workplace. We install hardware on the forklift, like a smart tablet or a smartphone. You might already have one running. We have our Scout application that runs that detects when workers that are wearing the ally are nearby. Mm-hmm. So what makes Scout unique is that it provides forklift operators with real-time risk indicators based on pedestrian densities and not just proximity. Mm-hmm. The system displays kind of low, moderate, and high-density indicators to operators, helping them understand the safety situation ahead. Then on the back end, we're collecting and organizing the data by time of day, location, driver, pedestrian, etc., to give safety leaders and operation teams insights to better focus on risk areas instead of waiting for accidents to happen. This way they can make decisions around process changes, routes, or barriers to reduce or remove those risks.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So it's actually detecting the ally armbands that workers are already wearing. How does this differ from, say, traditional forklift safety systems out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So traditional collision avoidance systems typically rely on alarms or force stops when someone gets too close to the forklift. The problem is that sudden stops and loud alarms can actually create new hazards, startling operators, disrupting workflows, or causing operators to become maybe desensitized over time. Mm-hmm. Scout takes a different approach. We focus on data-driven awareness rather than reactive alerts. We provide continuous visibility into worker density, which then allows the operators to make safer, more informed decisions without disrupting operations. Mm-hmm. And then we provide site-wise, enterprise kind of level overview of that collected data.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it really does enhance awareness without being disruptive. What kind of data does Scout actually collect, and what can safety leaders see?
Yeah, so Scout collects comprehensive data on pedestrian forklift interactions, but this is really important. It collects no personally identifiable information. It's really part of our core solution. We are gathering the frontline workers' experiences and exposures in the workplace, things like environmental working conditions and the physicality of work. We're looking at the work, not the worker. There's no GPS tracking, no biometric data, really no PII at all. The system is entirely focused on improving situational awareness and safety conditions, not tracking individuals. Safety leaders get access to our MākuSmart analytics platform where they can see interaction patterns, identify high-risk areas, and then understand maybe when peak traffic occurs. They can generate congestion trends and get answers to critical questions like, where do most pedestrian forklift interactions occur? What time of day sees the highest risk? Or how can we adjust our facility layout to reduce those interactions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I'm hearing it correctly, it's not just an alert system for operators. It's also really a strategic tool for safety managers. What about sensitivity settings? Can this be customized for different environments?
Yeah, exactly. So Scout is adjustable kind of detection sensitivity, so organizations can really tailor it to their specific environments. Mm-hmm. You know, a busy cross-dock might have different needs than maybe a manufacturing floor. You know, so Scout can be really configured accordingly.
Great. So before we move over to Mike, I do want to ask, what doesn't Scout do? Are there limitations or maybe misconceptions that we should address today?
Yeah, good question. Scout isn't a collision avoidance system in the traditional sense. It won't automatically stop a forklift or blast an alarm. That's by design. Everyone wants the Tesla-like experience, and we're probably headed that way, but we're probably a ways off from that reality as well. We believe the human operator, when properly informed, makes better decisions than automated emergency stops. Also, Scout kind of requires workers to be wearing the Ally armband, so it's part of our broader connected worker platform. It's not a standalone bolt-on solution. It really works best as part of a comprehensive safety strategy.
Yeah, yeah. And keeping the human at the center of it, which I think we're really proud of here at MākuSafe as well. All right, thanks, Aaron. So Mike, let's talk a little bit with you, and let's talk about how clients are actually using Scout. What are you seeing out there in the field?
Great, Anna. This is the fun stuff. So we're seeing really impressive results. One of the things that stands out is just how quickly clients get up and running. Most implementations are operational in hours. We provide the wearables like I'm wearing today, the training for operators and all the workers on foot. And once the equipment has access to the MākuSafe cloud platform, it takes less than a minute per forklift to calibrate that safety halo that Aaron talked about, and then just seconds for a driver to log in and the data starts flowing immediately.
That's awesome. So what kind of results are clients reporting?
Yeah, great. The numbers are speak for themselves. We've had clients reduce forklift pedestrian interactions by 50% or more within 3 to 6 months. But what's probably more promising is that EHS and operations leaders tell us they can see change in behaviors and just sort of feel the culture shift happening, that people are just more aware of what's going on and more aware of each other.
Yeah, and that's really remarkable. And I'm guessing they're not sacrificing productivity?
Well, I don't think we'd be doing it for very long if they were, so not at all. In fact, what we're hearing is that the corrective actions driven by Scout data, they aren't just making it safer, they're actually increasing productivity. When you optimize traffic flow, reduce congestion points, and eliminate unnecessary interactions, operations become more efficient, and everybody wants that.
Right, yeah. All right, so can you give us some specific examples of how companies are actually using the data that Scout produces?
Sure, there's lots of them, but I'll maybe hit on 3 that are most common. The first one being facility layout optimization. So as Aaron was talking about, we can help them analyze locations in terms of intersection points and things like that, so they can understand congestion, identify bottlenecks and high traffic zones, and they're making some physical changes. Maybe it's moving racks or creating dedicated pedestrian walkways or just adjusting staging areas. Another thing that's going on is you get insights into shifts, labor management, and workflow of the facilities. You know, today they can leverage Scout data to adjust or validate adjustments to break schedules, delivery timing or task assignments spread out of traffic. And don't forget, with ergonomic data and environmental data from the allies for every worker, they can factor in fatigue, and that's game changing. And finally, targeted training for those operators. So instead of generic forklift safety training, or depending on the forklift to kind of train the worker or tell them what's going on, they can now identify specific operators and specific areas where additional coaching is needed. You know, using that data at their fingertips, they can do evidence-based training proactively.
Yeah. So clearly huge value for the safety leader, for the operational manager. What about the worker? You know, sometimes safety technology, and we're in this space, but it can be met with some resistance. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I will. As Aaron mentioned, you know, we've got a privacy-first design. Scout doesn't collect PII data or no location tracking, or you know, we don't know where they've walked in the building. So you know, no biometric data. Workers understand it's about safety conditions, not surveillance. We're also seeing that workers appreciate the reduced near misses. Nobody wants to have a close call with a forklift. So when they see interactions dropping, they recognize the value. The other factor is that Scout runs passively. It's not creating more noise in the workplace. No, you know, it's not adding additional beeps and horns and honks and lights. And then it doesn't require manual input from workers. It just works in the background, which means minimal friction and adoption.
Yeah, that's so key. So let's talk a little bit about how Scout fits into maybe a company's broader safety program.
Sure. Aaron alluded to it. We've talked about it a little earlier. Scout's part of a larger MākuSafe connected worker platform. The same allied armband that I'm wearing enables Scout also monitoring heat stress, noise exposure, air quality, ergonomic risks, and other things like that. So companies aren't implementing a single purpose device, just an armband to detect forklifts. They're getting a comprehensive safety solution. Now, Scout extends the capability if they already have MākuSafe, or it can be their entry point that then can expand into address heat illness prevention or MSD risk reduction and other concerns.
Yeah, I think that is so exciting and key about our solution and about Scout as being part of this larger system. So what would you say, Mike, to the safety leader who's evaluating Scout right now?
Yeah, this is a very good question. Thanks. I tell them to look at their incident data and ask themselves, where are our forklift pedestrian near misses happening today? When are they happening? And is there a pattern with who's involved? If they don't have good answers for those questions, Scout can provide those. And beyond just answering the question, Scout gives them the tools to actually reduce those risks proactively and monitor the effect of any changes they make over time.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Mike. And thanks, Aaron. I think this has been really incredibly helpful and insightful, and hopefully for our viewers has been really helpful to better understand Scout by MākuSafe. So just real quickly, let me recap. Scout is a forklift safety solution that provides real-time pedestrian density awareness to operators while collecting comprehensive analytics for safety leaders. Unlike traditional systems that rely on alarms and forced stops, Scout enhances operator awareness without disrupting productivity. There's no technology, or the technology is privacy respecting, no PII, no GPS tracking, and no biometric data. And it integrates with the MākuSafe Ally armband as part of a really kind of a larger comprehensive connected worker platform. And most importantly, it's delivering measurable results today. Companies are seeing reductions in pedestrian forklift interactions within months, along with improvements in productivity as they optimize layouts and workflows based on the real data that Scout is providing. So if you want to learn more about Scout by MākuSafe, we encourage you to visit our website, MākuSafe.com. Reach out to some of us. I'll put in our contact information in this webinar. And with that, we want to say thank you for joining us. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. But everyone, have a great day.